Hey everybody, welcome back to another Arrow recap and review. Today I'm talking about Season 8, Episode 9, entitled Green Arrow and the Canaries, the second to last Arrow episode ever. If you haven't seen this episode, stop this video, open a new tab, watch the episode on cwtv.com, and then come back here because I'm talking full spoilers. So, yeah, Arrow's almost over. Next week is the series finale. That's pretty crazy. And this episode is kind of a backdoor pilot to the spin-off series that they're working on called, I guess, Green Arrow and the Canaries, which focuses on Mia as the Green Arrow, and the two Black Canaries, both Dinah and Laurel, are helping her, and together they are fighting crime. So when I first heard about this series, before they actually announced the title, I was a little on the fence because it was going to be about the future Team Arrow, which I was not totally sold on earlier in season 7. So I was a little nervous. But recently, when they announced that the Black Canaries were going to be in it and that they were taking a different approach to it, I was interested again. I had hoped that they would do something interesting with it. And I think they did with this episode. Like, it wasn't the best thing ever, but it at least has me interested in where that story is going to go. So let's get right into it. The premise of this episode is that we're now in an alternate Star City 2040 post-crisis. Oliver sacrificed himself to recreate the universe, and in this new universe, the future of Star City is not a dystopia. It's actually perfect. There hasn't been crime in a long time. Mia and William grew up together. JJ grew up with his regular family, and things went well. Up to this point, the characters have had a normal life. They haven't had to deal with the crazy crime fighting, parents that are superheroes, all that kind of stuff. And Mia is engaged. She's about to graduate, or she did graduate college, and she's getting engaged to JJ, which is pretty weird. And so she has no memory of what happened during Crisis, before Crisis, her alternate timeline, nothing. Out of the blue, Laurel and Dinah come along and recruit her to come back into the fold. Laurel has this special ring that has the powers of, see, this part was kind of weird, of John Jones, like, because in the end of Crisis, he went around to restore people's memories so they would remember what the world was like before Crisis. So somehow Cisco was able to make a ring that has the powers or the ability to affect the person's mind so that they remember all this stuff. That was kind of a stretch. Another stretch for me was how Dinah ended up in 2040. That was very unclear. And I'm guessing that's something they're trying to save for the full show, how they're going to explain how that happened. But in this episode, I was not totally sold on how they explained it. She just magically appeared there after Oliver's funeral. But I have so many questions because it wouldn't be the Monitor, I don't think, because is he even around still? They didn't really clear that up at the end of Crisis. And so what reason would he have, if it was him, to send her to the future? Or is there some other entity out there? I don't know. But basically, these three together are now working to try and solve a kidnapping. And it's actually the daughter of Helena Bertinelli, who, remember earlier in Arrow, is the Huntress. And when I heard that name, I was like, oh, wait, I know who that is. And so her daughter apparently gets kidnapped by some people. Laurel thinks that there's a new Deathstroke person, right? Laurel thinks that it's JJ because that's who he was in the alternate timeline, but Mia's like, no, it can't be him. And they go on a mission to try and find out who is the Deathstroke person. They break into JJ's office to try and hack into his computer, and it doesn't go well. JJ catches Mia, and they get into a fight. They almost break up, which I guess kind of sucks, but at the same time, she knows who he was before. He doesn't know yet, because you'll see at the end of this episode. And so now Mia is kind of having this conflict of like, can I be a hero? I can't do what my dad did. I barely know y'all. You just put all these memories back into my head. I thought that was interesting, seeing her kind of coming to terms with all the stuff that happened that she didn't remember. Seeing these two lives kind of clashing in her head, in her consciousness, these two versions of herself. That was an interesting concept, but I'm wondering how that's going to play into the full series. We'll have to see. So they find out that JJ is not, in fact, the Deathstroke guy. It's this other person from the Bertinelli family who tried to take the daughter as a ransom of sorts. And so there's this big fight with all three Canaries together. And they take down the Deathstroke guy. Dinah's story, I think, was interesting. She's kind of, again, living this new life in the future, kind of separate from everything. Like, she has her memories of Crisis and stuff. John Jones is able to use his powers on her directly, so she remembers everything. And now she's kind of just trying to live normal life. Apparently, this is another weird thing. People don't remember her in the future. Like, she just is not in existence at all, which is another weird thing. They're really gonna have to explain what weird cosmic, mystic, whatever thing brought her to the future and erased her from the past, essentially. I'm not sure where that's going. We're gonna have to see in the full series. Laurel also has an interesting arc in this episode. You see her trying not to be a total jerk to Mia, trying to go easy on her, let her be a hero, let her come to terms with that herself, not trying to force it on her as much. And I thought that was interesting. Overall, the dynamic between the three of them, I think, would make for a good show. I'm not 100% sure if I would watch this just yet. I'm still kind of on the fence. I'd have to see another episode. But from what I've seen so far, I am interested. Also, at the end, there was the twist, I guess you can call it, where another figure with one of those magic rings restores JJ's memory. So now he remembers everything from post or pre-crisis. And he remembers being the leader of the Destro gang. He remembers killing Zoe, fighting Mia, all that stuff. So I do think it'd be an interesting tension there between Mia remembering everything from pre-crisis and JJ remembering everything from pre-crisis. Both of them kind of acting like everything's normal, but really it's not because they know who they were and it's kind of different from who they are now. They're engaged too. That makes it even more crazy. So I think this does have potential. Again, I don't know if I would commit to the show just yet. I still have to think about it, but I am intrigued. I like Mia is not as bratty as she was before Crisis and everything. I think her personality, I think, is a little more likable now, and I think she does have an interesting internal conflict going on, which I think would be fun to explore. And it is nice seeing Mia and William growing up together, having an actual relationship. I also didn't like that they now made Connor Hawk, I guess, a drug addict or something. They mentioned he was in rehab, but you don't really get much of that. And now he and Mia are kind of butting heads. Everybody's kind of butting heads with Connor Hawk, which kind of sucks because I did like him. He was one of my favorites of the new team. But we'll have to see where it goes. I think it's okay, but series finale is next week. I'm really excited, really sad that it's ending here. I wonder what they're going to do. I wonder how they're going to wrap up everything. I really just hope this all ends on a high note. That's all I really ask. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it just has to make sense for what's happened so far. I do think they have been doing a great job wrapping up all of the Arrow stories as far as I can see. The lead up to Oliver's death was done well, I think. So I honestly do think they have everything they need to make a good finale, a good ending to the show. So we will see. What did you think of this backdoor pilot to Green Arrow and the Canaries? Are you going to watch the full show if it gets a series? Let me know down in the comments. Also, don't forget to like this video, share, and subscribe. Also, check out my Bad Boys review where I revealed this giveaway that I'm going to be doing. Check it out. See you in the next one.